This time on Low Boost, we put a custom console in my dad's 1953 Ford F100 pickup truck.
In the last episode, you guys probably watched us mount the heater and AC unit underneath the seat inside the cab, and mainly because the firewall is custom and was pushed back 4 inches. So because of that, we have all these hoses and such that are running through the cab. So we're going to have to find a way to hide that. They run up and through out of the fender through this bulkhead to keep it nice and clean, and that goes to the AC compressor and to our coolant line so we can have the heater there, and it runs all there. It will be tucked nicely behind the grill. With the seat in now, we're using CAD design, and when I say CAD, I mean cardboard aided design, to design the console that we're going to use inside of here. It's going to take a couple of different iterations, but that's kind of what we want it to look like, at least in cardboard.
It's so hard getting to do this interior stuff. It looks like hard work, doesn't it?
You're gonna get it.
All right, so after my mom mocked all that up, we cut out some pieces of wood to match what the cardboard looks like, and this is our first iteration of it. We want to have enough clearance with the pedal and obviously enough clearance on the passenger side. So that's kind of a rough thing of what it looks like here. So we got a wooden mock-up for the console and everything running under there. Still figuring out what we're going to do with it, if it's going to be just black carpet or wrapped vinyl or some type of wood grain like the steering wheel to match. Any of that will work, but that is how it looks. There's a lot of room for the pedal, a lot of room for the passenger. This is our third or fourth time making a box, but you know, you want to make sure you get it right. There's one small gap down there. We have it sunk into there, but I think we're gonna wrap this in carpet, and I think it'll look pretty good. So there's the console. Let me know what you guys think. We went a little thicker on this and used a 1/2-inch piece of wood to do either side, and now it's like 45-degree angle almost coming up. Everything's kind of tucked away nicely underneath there. We just got to figure out where we want to put some cup holders. I think we should have our switches for the e-brake and maybe some exhaust cutouts on this panel as well. All the air conditioning controls are in a separate location, so that kind of gives us some liberty with this. We also need to make sure our throttle linkage and gas pedal is exactly where we want it.
This episode is brought to you by these awesome wheel dollies. If you have a car, whether it's running or not, and you have limited garage space in your garage, definitely get these wheel dollies. You can push it up against a wall. You can move the car around anywhere, any which way you want. This is a 2,900-pound Mustang that I am moving around the garage with relative ease. And I'll put a link to this in the description below if you're interested in checking it out. And buying it through those links helps the channel a lot. We really appreciate it.
Now that everything is ironed out with all of the ducting, and we took the console out to carpet it, we had to run the lines for the defroster. And we ended up using the original 1953 F100 defroster ports, and they just kind of bolt right up into there. But we want to make sure we have all of this where it's supposed to be inside of underneath the dash. So when we put it all together, it's all going to work. We won't be able to run every single air conditioning line. We're going to be missing one. We just can't fit it underneath the seat. But it's all going to work. All the heat, defroster, and air conditioning is all going to work underneath that seat. This is the second defroster on the passenger side. This is located underneath and behind the glove box, but that's what it looks like fully installed. We still haven't gotten windows in this yet. We're kind of just taking our time with that. Now's the time where you want to make sure you get everything right. We don't want to rush this at this point. We've come so far to try to have it look as good as possible. These kits can all be thrown out the window almost when you're doing custom stuff. Our AC controller mounts in there, but the problem is it's not really designed to be that far away from the unit itself. So we had to extend every single wire so it can tuck underneath the console, and that's kind of what we're doing now. Just using heat solder connectors, and as well as like black heat shrink to connect the wires together, and then it all should fit in there. And we still have a bunch of wires underneath the dashboard that we have to do, blinkers and such too. This is first go around with it being carpeted, as well as all the wires being run, and there's our AC control unit. And we got the vents in as well. So this is starting to come together in the interior. I can't wait to see what this looks like when it's done. Still got to do some more stuff, but kind of a good mock-up here. That looks pretty good. Some other things we're working on right now too. We installed the rear bumper and the rear tail lights. We didn't actually end up drilling it into the side of the bed like that. I kind of liked it the way it looked recessed underneath, and I also don't want to risk drilling it incorrectly and having to redo the whole bed because of that. I think it's going to look fine just like that. I like the bumper. I think what we're going to do, because the bumper sits like that, is we're going to have the exhaust tailpipes come out the side, and we just ordered that, so we'll be doing that in future videos. We still have a ways to go in the interior of the F100 before we go ahead and put the seat back in and everything else, but we're getting really close to firing this thing up for the first time. So make sure you guys hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on all those uploads. I also got more videos on my E36 Turbo LS swap, and in the background you can see a nice Honda GX160 engine that I'm doing a build on a mini bike on the channel as well. So if you're into this kind of stuff, hit the subscribe button. In the meantime, check out these videos that I already have ready to go.